What's going on, YouTube? JT's here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Teen Titans number 16. This one, believe it or not, is written by Marv Wolfman. That's right, one of the all-time greatest comic book writers. And it's pretty much just a standalone Starfire issue. In fact, it's just Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven in this issue. Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash are nowhere to be found. This issue in general has nothing to do with this entire run. It kind of felt like Marv Wolfman just wanted to write a Starfire one-shot. I'm like, okay, you can do it, but just make it a part of the Teen Titans. In fact, the description for this issue talks about the fallout of the Super Sons of Tomorrow thing, but it has nothing to do with this issue at all. In fact, the description that's on comixology is completely and utterly wrong and does not represent what's actually in this issue. But let's go ahead and talk about this thing. Again, this plays really no factor into the overall plot of this run at all, but it's nice to have Starfire just get a single issue kind of dedicated to her because, well, the first arc was mostly, well, most of this book has kind of been centered around Damian, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. Starfire didn't really have a big story arc per se, and neither did Raven. But like Beast Boy kind of gets the last one, but Raven's the only one who kind of didn't really have anything overall in this run. But this is kind of Starfire's focused issue, so at least it's good that she had that. So let's go ahead and briefly summarize kind of what happened in this thing, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of it. The only cons I really have are the fact that some of the other Titans aren't really a factor in it at all, just because I want to see how Marv would have written those characters. I would have liked to have seen how he'd written Wallace West, Kid Flash. I would have liked to have seen how he wrote Aqualad, and I especially want to see how he writes Damian. I don't think Marv Wolfman's ever written Damian in anything, and I'm just curious how he would do it, because Marv Wolfman's one of the all-time greatest comic book writers, but I feel like he's not really writing any of the newer characters. He's kind of just sticking with the older characters, which he's familiar with, which is great and all, because, you know, he's one of the all-time greats. I mean, just think of all the great stuff he's done, but I kind of want to see him tackle some of the newer characters just to see how he would write them. But anyways, so the issue kind of begins. Starfire and Beast Boy and Raven, they're basically all working together to take down Argus. At one point, they kind of do. Starfire gets upset because Beast Boy is just like, oh, you know, talking about young people stuff, and she's complaining about how they don't seem to care about her. He's like, young people stuff, I'm what, like 3 years older than them? Which is kind of, I don't know how, because Raven in like Teen Titans was 16, which would make, if she says she's like 3 years older, that would make her 19, which would make it kind of weird seeing her and how she's had history with Dick Grayson. I don't know. It's kind of weird how the ages are played around with in this Teen Titans run. I feel like Starfire should be a little bit older, because she definitely does not look like she's 19. She looks a lot older. But anyway, so she goes around, she's kind of upset at herself, like, why does nobody seem to care about me, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. It's like, what's my problem? We also see these little bug things kind of latch themselves onto people who begin attacking me, start attacking her, and she's just kind of upset at herself. She's like, why does nobody seem to love me, yada yada yada, like, what did I do? And then they all start attacking her. She fights back, she takes them to the hospital, she's trying to get a hold of Gar, she's trying to get a hold of Raven, but with all this stuff going on, she doesn't seem to contact the other Teen Titans members, which makes me wonder, like, this is issue 16 of this run, why doesn't she attempt to call the other Titans members? I get that this is Marv Wolfman writing it, but at the same time, this is part of a run of other comic books. I don't know why she doesn't bother calling the other Titans members at all for backup. She only focuses on the two, which, again, I understand the history in the comics and that, but she also has a history with this current team, but she doesn't bother calling them at all. Get what I'm saying? But anyway, so she gets attacked, she blacks out at one point, and turns out she's in the control of the alien race known as the Scions, who are experimenting on her and trying to tap into her mind. She breaks free, gets supercharged, she kicks ass, she sees Raven and Beast Boy come in, and she realizes that she's got to attack the machines. She attacks the machines, they defeat the Scions, and the issue kind of ends on a bit of a joke, where she's just like, why didn't you want to talk to me? And she's like, oh, I was just asking Raven for advice on my dating profile. And Raven's just like, okay, it was beyond my help. And she's like, and Beast Boy's kind of flirting with her. He's like, oh, so you think I'm cute? She's like, oh, isn't that, so you're saying this old person's opinions aren't important to you? And he's like, wait a minute, wait, what are you saying? Wait, do you think I'm cute? Do you think I am? Corey! And it kind of ends like that. So overall consensus, I thought this issue was fine. I mean, it's nice to get a Starfire focused issue because I really think we did need one of those issues in this run. I just like, I mean, again, it just feels like just a one shot that really has nothing to do with this book in general. And also considering it's part of a run of this comic, I don't get why she doesn't reference the other Titans at all in this story when she's calling for help. Like, she only calls those two. She doesn't bother calling the other Titans. Because, again, this is Teen Titans issue 16. It's part of this run. I just don't get that aspect. But again, I mean, not every issue has to focus on all those other characters. It's nice to get a Starfire focused issue. So that's what I appreciate most about this thing, is that Starfire is the main focal point of this storyline, which is a good thing, because I do like Starfire. She's not my favorite Titan, she never has been, but she's still a good character, and it's nice for her to get some attention, because I felt like her character needed more attention this run, and I feel like Raven did too. Because Raven just kind of was more of a supporting role. She never like took the main focal point in really any of the storylines in the Percy run. I feel like because he was kind of cut short, I don't know the circumstances of that, but I feel like if we were given more time, she would have had more storylines focused solely on her, because Kid Flash was the focal point of a lot, Damian obviously was the focal point of a lot, even Superboy was the focal point of a lot, and Aqualad had some storylines where he was the focus point. Beast Boy gets his little arc towards the end, and Starfire got this, but Raven didn't really get anything, unfortunately. And Raven's like my favorite female superhero, so I'm kind of disappointed about that. But she did have her solo comics written by Wolfman. She had Raven, Daughter of Darkness, and she had that other Raven thing that came out, I think, before that one, too. So at least Raven had some solo series. But overall consensus, I thought this issue was okay. Again, I really like Marv Wolfman, but like this is just a kind of a brief one-shot issue. And again, these are fun to do, but it really just was just kind of Starfire just getting some focal point. It's nothing game-changing or anything like that. The artwork is nice. There's a few funny jokes here and there, but I just thought the issue was fine. I don't think it really was necessary in this run per se, because it really didn't really add much. It didn't add much to the overall run, but it was just nice to get a Starfire-focused issue. And I guess my only other disappointment was I wanted to see how Marv Wolfman would write some of the other characters in this book, and unfortunately he never got the chance to. I want to know how Marv Wolfman would write, Damian. I really want to see how that would be written, and I want to see how I'd write Kid Flash, and I want to see how he'd write Aqualad, but fortunately we never got it, and I don't know if we ever will. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Teen Titans issue number 16? Post your comments down below. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I'll see you all in the next video as we cover the final story arc, then Justice League No Justice, and then we have the special, and then we are done with this book until the final issue comes out, and then we can celebrate. All right, that's all I got to say. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.